Hey everybody, Moonbase Alpha, thanks for watching. So, the weapon of your enemy. This is a M70 Yugoslavian AK. I guess technically a Serbian AK made in Zastava. This is an interesting rifle. You know, if you ever come across footage of ISIS or you know, militants or whatever, they're usually wielding something like this. Underfolding stock because it's more jihadi. You can shoot it like this, squatting down. You know, it's a lot easier to fit into a car like this. That's why they made them like this originally, the Soviets. This was a Soviet invention, this underfolding stock. They basically took it off of the MP40. You know, like everything else the Soviets did, they basically copied it from the Nazis. You know, it's a decent stock. You know, a lot of people don't like the underfolders, but I found them to be okay. You press a little button here and it folds out. You can have a 30-round magazine in this and have it clear that. The cheek weld is pretty abysmal, but you know, as long as you get used to it, it's not too bad. It's a little cold outside today, so you know, actually shooting this gun in the cold is a little bit uncomfortable. You do get a little bit of cheek slap in addition to the cold of the stock. Not really an all-purpose stock for most people. This is kind of one of those stocks that you keep on a gun that you're going to keep in your car or something like that. You know, this for me is a bug-out rifle. I keep this around just in case I need to grab a rifle and go. Let's shoot it a little bit and talk a little bit more about the M70. So really, it's pretty your typical AK affair. There's not a whole lot going on here that isn't usual as far as AK goes. There's a few distinctive things, but not really a whole lot that's not just typical AK-MS. You know, the AKM means it's Avtomat Kalashnikova, and then of course the M is a modernized, and the S is basically the Russian word for underfolding stock or folding stock. It basically denotes a weapon that has a folding stock. You'll notice there's AKSUs, there's the AK-74, there's the AK-MS, which is what this is. And basically these are underfolding AKs. The Yugoslavian ones have a slightly different receiver. They're a little bit shorter as far as I know. Not really a standard AK receiver. Also, the furniture is unique to Yugoslavian AKs as well, so that's something you got to know. They do have a 45-degree gas block on there. That's kind of indicative of a Yugo. That's also shared on earlier AKs and also Chinese AKs. This was actually gotten rid of in favor of the Bulgarian-style 90-degree gas block because they found that it actually causes excess erosion of the muzzle, or I'm sorry, the barrel where it's ported out for the gas to come up and into the piston system. You'll also notice there's a sling swivel right here. They got rid of that in a lot of other AKs as well and put it on the little handguard retainer because they found that this area right here gets really hot with that gas block, so that has a tendency to burn your sling. So this is kind of an earlier style AK. It does have a slant brake on it, which basically what it does is it allows the gas to kind of come off of this side of the gun a little bit faster than it comes off of this side, and the reciprocating mass of the bolt carrier group gets negated by that gas pushing down on it. So it's actually a pretty effective little brake on there, but it does shoot a giant flame out the front. Typical front sight post, really nice machining work on the whole thing. I mean, it's actually a really well made gun. For an AK, this is probably the best made AK that's available in the market right now. They have a perforated finish on the guns themselves, which are quite nice. And then of course the charging lever here is attached to a nice polished bolt carrier group, and the safety selector actually has a hole cut in it to actually hold back the bolt. Trigger is okay. It's a decent trigger. It's not amazing or anything like that, but that's the way it comes from Century Arms. You know, magazine release works. Typical, a little bit of wobble on the steel mags because they have to account for sloppy fitment. And this stock, you know, the front handguards here are basically unfinished. They're unvarnished. I would suggest taking a little bit of tung oil or some kind of varnish and hitting that just so it protects the wood. But beyond that, I mean, it's really a pretty basic standard AK. Like I said, I bought this to be a bug-out gun, so it basically sits in my car most times. A very compact package. That underfolder is extremely compact. So very, very nice. Now, I've been shooting AKs for a long time. This was actually the first system of weapons that I really got into. One of the things that I learned when I first learned how to shoot AKs was how to shoot them right. Aloha, Snackbar! Style. They're good guns. They're not too bad. Excellent.